entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for elevating your business. Welcome to Getting the Edge with Kelly Wilson. And here's your host, Kelly Wilson.
Welcome to Getting the Edge. I'm your host, Kelly Wilson. Thank you so much for being with us today. Getting the Edge is a great opportunity. We're here with you each week, but it's a great opportunity to bring on business owners and business leaders, entrepreneurs in our community to learn. We want to learn about your products and services, but our mission here on Getting the Edge is really getting to know our guests and learning from their experiences. I am a firm believer that we can learn so much from each other, and that is really what Getting the Edge is all about. Getting the Edge is a product of Edge Business Magazine. For more information, you can check us out online at edgebusinessmagazine.com. You can watch all the previous shows that we've had over the years and check out all of our recent issues of the Edge Business Magazine. Really excited about our upcoming issue that will be launching late August into early September. It's our first annual celebration of women featuring Mayor Jane Castor, as well as 9 plus to 15, almost to 20 other amazing women throughout the issue. Just a great opportunity. There's so many amazing people in the Tampa Bay community. So it's really just a great, we've had so much great response from it too that it became our first annual. So really excited now to look forward to celebrating women in our community every year from here on out. So definitely you can subscribe to our newsletter right from our website, and that way you will not miss any of the updates. There's so many great things going on. So again, I could spend all hour just talking about all of that. So I won't do that, but make sure you subscribe and stay tuned to all the information we have going on. So super excited to be with us today. A good friend of mine, Carolynn Smith-Jones, is with us. So thank you so much for being here. Carolyn is the owner of 7 Marketing, 7 PR.
7 Marketing PR.
Okay, there you go. But I've known Carolyn throughout the years, and just really I was happy to finally get you in the show, on the show, and get a chance to get and share kind of your mission and about your business and get to know you a little bit better. Yeah, so thanks for being here. Me. Well, tell us a little bit about 7 and how many years in are you now?
So it's a big year for us. It is 7 years.
Oh, that's almost magical, right?
I know.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
We are amongst trying to do all these amazing things for our clients. I'm trying to find the time to get our client appreciation and big party together. So we're going to do a special event. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
so for year 7. Great. So yeah, it is. You know, a lot of people. The reputation around community and nationwide. Our firm is a national firm now based here in Tampa, and a lot of people, I guess, are referred to me for a lot of sports and entertainment. I started the company out from a background playing college basketball, and going into, my background was in Fox Sports Radio and TV, so I did radio and television, so I know the other side of PR and media. And I had fallen into the hotel world in Hilton and Starwood hotels, so have a hospitality background. And a little over 7 years ago, had my first beautiful son, and just knew it was my calling and time to step out on my own in entrepreneurship. And I did start the firm representing a lot of professional athletes, celebrity space, entertainers. Mm-hmm. And I've always, loved the world of building people's brands, getting them in front of building their awareness, their talent, who they are, in a positive light through different PR areas. So whether it's on television, radio, TV, podcasts, magazines, and so here we are.
Yeah. Do you help build or help design the brand that will then represent them, or do you just take them once they have that and then help project? Is that the right way to say it? So their brand and message.
We are we're a boutique agency. However, we have full service capabilities. So if we have more of a small to mid-size business or talent brand that comes to us and they need the help with branding, with design, with websites, we have designers, branding team that can do that, as well as if we have, now we're to the point where we have a lot of national talent, so national CEOs, a lot of social media influencers that are the organic, real influencers that have anywhere from 2 to 500,000 and up followers, as well as companies, small to mid-sized companies. So really from A to Z, a brand, a company, someone launching a product, it all comes down to, as you know, in your business strategy.
Right.
So for us, with my 15 plus years in the PR, marketing, and sales space, I really look at the client and from there kind of say, okay, here's a strategy. You've already got a great brand built. Your site looks great. Your marketing looks great. Now it's time to really get that awareness out in TV, radio, because now, as you know, doing a show like this, being in a magazine, this is all big credibility steps that build your credibility and expert status, right? So why I would support and be in Edge magazine or on a morning show is not so much because my phone's going to ring off the hook, but now I'm separating myself from all the other firms or people in my industry in town because you see me in magazines, you see me in on radio or hear me on radio and TV. So, really breaking down what the strategy is for the client, the personality, or the company.
And I think that's tough for people, is to really understand that commitment or investment, I guess I want to say, in building yourself or allowing yourself to be seen and be a part of things where you become an expert and you can be looked at, versus somebody just more branding, right? Versus somebody that just wants immediate response back from an advertisement of some kind.
Right.
And
which then you're looking more in like digital marketing, SEO, PPC campaigns where you gotta, strict more so advertising, billboards, ads. So
and then you have more analytics where you can really come up with an ROI and know exactly what your rate, and return on investment is going to be, and it's a lot different. But I think to even have that to be at its highest peak, or I guess maximum reach, or I guess return on investment, would be the branding piece that you do too, right? I would think that all
100%, because now I always explain to my PR clients, I take their marketing materials and I say, okay, look what you're presenting now in your website. Now, I take the paper down and say, now look, featured on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Edge magazine.
Right.
And so now look at the credibility compared to this other law firm or doctor's office or financial services, whatever your company or product may be, that establishes credibility. Now you're in the media, so clearly you're an expert. The media is not going to take anyone. You're not going to put anyone on your show.
Right.
So that's where, it's that's where when you're ready to make that investment, it really is going to separate and it's going to help your brand. And I mean, people do still see and hear, and so it is going to generate more sales, and you can track those things by putting calls to action. And so.
Right, but it's more of a strategy.
Exactly.
An instant,
gratification, throwing money at a PPC campaign.
Right, but I think that is hard. It's hard to educate people on exactly. I've had that experience where it's been difficult. But I also think there's others that totally get it and they understand, that component.
Yeah.
And the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes it's difficult too to educate, and people, I hire you for your services, but then they don't necessarily want to take your advice. Or do you have that happen often?
Well,
How do
of
you
course.
handle?
I think in anything, and all of us as business owners, we're all trying to sell our products, our services, how we can help people. And I really preach to my clients and partners that you have to have good case studies. So that's why we do, work as hard as we do to make sure that we have a lot of success with our clients. And so at that point, we can show, how we in the PR world would show a case study and the media value. So I'll give you an example. There was a TPC golf course in town that had a new restaurant that they wanted to get exposure on. Well, the news station didn't really want to come out just to cover a restaurant at the golf course, right? So we turned that into Top Golf Tips with Charlie Belcher. So you think about being on Fox News, #1 station in town, from the hours of anywhere from 6, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Same thing, we did it for Chef Inspired Popcorn, the gourmet popcorn in town. And what we did is, so by having presenting educational and entertaining value of their products, we brought out Charlie Belcher. It started, being on air for 4 hours. That media value. So what a PR firm does to show our clients is the media value that they would have to spend in advertising would have been over $10,000. And the price for us to come in and do that, was probably half of that.
Right.
So, you look at media value and what you would spend just to have a commercial running compared to you being the spotlight of the morning show on the news, the interviews with Charlie Belcher on Fox TV. And, so that really breaks down, and you have more time to build why you're so good and why you're valuable for people to come out.
I'm excited about this time with you because I want to talk about PR and just get into a lot more as we go through the show. But one of the things with now so many people getting away from what do they say, cutting the cord and getting away from your regular TV. And what is your opinion on commercials with TV and that versus just totally digital?
Yeah, so my space, and the reason why myself and a lot of other PR and marketing firms on a national level are really building social media agencies. So you're going to see we're even rebranding soon into more of a social media PR agency. Because television, the reason why you see a lot of these morning shows on TV that are pay to play and have a lot of, guests on air that are more type salesy segments, is a lot of people are taking their money out of television and putting it into social media ads because you're getting a lot more, response. It depends on the company that you are and the types of products, but a lot more of the success and what I focus on is putting a lot more money on social media ads. Again, it comes down to the company. That's where you want to consult with a digital advertising budget, team, a PR agency, to kind of get a better idea of, hey, where is probably my money? And I highly recommend, if you're at that level to where you have a budget to start to spend, do a consulting session. A lot of us, myself as a business owner of a PR firm, I do consulting all the time. You may not want to jump right in with a retainer, but consult with some of these business owners to kind of get a better lay of the land, and where we can show you, hey, here's what this budget would do on a commercial ad compared to like a social media, Facebook or LinkedIn ad.
So many options with the retargeting and the geofencing, and it's just. And
it comes down to strategy and the type of.
And Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads, and then which platforms are best. And, but it's just there's so much with people cutting the cord and that whole environment changing. I want to talk a lot more about that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Carolyn. Don't go far.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
back to Getting the Edge. I'm your host, Kelly Wilson. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm a sponge, and I love to learn. And I feel like I have I'm so lucky to be able to sit down with so many great people and have these amazing interviews. And that's why it was so important for me to provide these platforms, not just through the magazine, but through the show, because it wasn't fair for me to just learn it and learn all this great information. I wanted to be able to share that, and that's why Edge is here. But this is going to be fun. So we talked a lot about just getting into the PR piece of it. You have some great tips for us, and I want to get into that. But again, cutting the cord, and you hear that every day. I talk to somebody, and they're like, I got rid of cable. I'm going completely to streaming. But I don't know, I used to hate commercials. Maybe I don't now because of being in a media type world and advertising. I'm more aware and I'm watching. And I like the creative side of it. Oh, that was a cool campaign of how they came up with something.
Too. Yeah.
So, but I do DVR. I guess you don't call it DVR and you call it recording.
I call it. I'm old school.
I DVR a lot of things. But I still, and I'll fast forward through commercials, but some things catch my eye, even at 3 times the speed. Let me go back and just see what that was. So I watch them when they appeal to me, when something. So, and people are still investing a lot of money in those commercials.
Yeah.
So there is still some value there.
There is, and
I guess it just depends on budget.
It does. That's what
because if you have the budget.
Because you know what, the same people that are spending that type of money right now on commercial advertising are more than likely, or should be, also putting money into the social media bucket.
Right.
So we always, as a national PR marketing firm, we're going to say, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So you're not going to just try to run TV ads.
Right.
We need to at least take some of that budget. Let's see, it's, especially depending on your target audience. Hey, if you are going after the 60 to 70-year-olds, spend some money on the news and afternoon shows. They're probably not going to be on LinkedIn. I'm not going to run your ad on LinkedIn or on Facebook.
Right.
So again, who is your target audience? And then where's the most fish?
Right.
So are they going to be on LinkedIn ads? Because LinkedIn ads are great right now. The algorithm is amazing for LinkedIn if you're hitting that business community. I have a new publishing company for books, so I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on LinkedIn after CEOs. That's going to be, but with my PR marketing agency for social media, I may be spending more time on Instagram and on Facebook. So same thing at all. And that's why I say I'm very big on doing your research and spending money on good business advisors and consultants before you go and hire agencies, not knowing what to do.
It is difficult when you have all these multiple platforms. It is identifying where your clients are, or customers, and then how to reach them. What do you think is the most cost effective versus your rate of return from a Facebook or LinkedIn perspective?
It kind of depends on the client, but I would say, depending on LinkedIn, there's a lot of value in LinkedIn right now, but it has to be where your clients are going to be. So with Facebook, again, you need to sit down with someone that knows how to do Facebook ads, because if you're going to put even $50, $50 to $200 a month, you really need to know how you're setting your parameters and how to target and making sure that you maximize that. Even if you go on, on the internet and start Googling how to do Facebook ads correctly, just do some type of research instead of just throwing money in there. Hell, by the time you ran 3 Facebook ads at $150, you could have sat down for an hour with the business owner of an agency and got your answers.
Right. One of the things too I've noticed with LinkedIn is sometimes you get the messages sponsored in mail or through messaging, and then or sometimes it's in the feed, that's interesting, and why one method is chosen over another. I don't open those.
Yeah, some people do though.
Yeah.
So it's I guess what I really push is bringing more value and quality than quantity.
Right.
So if you're going to put something out there and push any type of advertisement, it better be a great graphic, a good photo, and really good content.
Right.
And again, that's why you need to work with someone, an expert in that space, because you want to make sure that you're pushing out good content, because just like you're saying that you didn't open it,
Right.
if you had a really cool and, exciting, intriguing photo or graphic with a great catchy subject line,
Right.
you probably would.
Then I might have, right?
So it's big on the content marketing too. So how is, what is somebody putting out there? What are they saying? And that's a big difference if you're going to open it or not. You can use, we see it all the time. We do tests. We actually run tests with the same photo. We'll change the photo and leave the same caption, or we'll leave the same caption and change the photo. We'll get double the response.
Interesting.
So we test out, and you can do that too if you don't have a budget, and test out, take it down, test it with another
Right.
Subject line or photo.
Yeah.
So
just again, like we mentioned earlier, so many options and different things to choose from. And I want to get into kind of what PR is and why it's different than marketing or advertising. But before we do, even getting into some of the shows that we talked about are more pay to play, and a lot of them have really gotten away from just community,
Real news.
To where it's more salesy.
Well, just like you said, TV is dying. And I mean, as far as like your morning news shows and a lot of the news, everyone's getting it on their phone. The different age, the millennials, they all have Hulu and Netflix. They're not getting cable TV. It's foreign to them. And so, that is why a lot of these morning news shows, and I'm not saying the morning news where you have, the 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. crews, but more so after that 8, 9 a.m. where you start getting into the 9, 10 a.m. your morning shows. Those are where, in the glory days for PR firms, we could get any type of credible, good client with a good product, a good company, expert status, and get them booked with great, educational and entertaining value that they could bring on a news show. Well, now the producers and the hosts, they have to be a lot more selective because their jobs are on the line, because they have to get money into the station, because they're losing that money from advertisers because less people watching and more people are moving their ads and commercial spend to social media. So they have sales teams now.
From a local perspective, if you had great content and great stories, there's enough news updates, with entertainment, and who's doing what, and who's seeing who, and there's enough of those. There's enough of the outlets for the negativity and the political. So having just local, good stories and good people of what's going on in our community.
Yeah. But when you think of PR and media and television, what makes TV needs to be entertaining and educational. And whether, unfortunately, entertaining is you want to keep up with the 20 mass people that just got murdered and shot, because you want to keep up with that, and you're going to keep finding the station that's covering it and that has the people live on the scene. That's entertaining to a lot of people. They want to be in the know. They want to know what, the politics. And so that's what's going to be, you think about it. Why do you, and so.
That's sad.
It is sad, but.
Well, I mean, that's just, it's literally sad.
The good, it's sad when and it's funny because the viewers this is a homework assignment for them. If you go home and watch the evening news, you're going to hear about all the bad, the killings, the politics, the more, I guess, negative coverage, the reality of the world.
Right.
And then the last 5 minutes of news is the heartwarming stories.
Yeah, actually, not even 5 minutes.
When you talk about the difference of PR, that's what we do. So a lot of times PR, we pitch the stations and the producers and say, hey, I've got a great heartwarming story for your last 5 minutes of the news.
Yeah, it's not even 5 minutes, is it? It's like the last 30
3
seconds.
Minutes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a 3-minute segment, yeah.
But it's, thankfully.
But that's your time as a business owner and for someone that's doing good in the community and doing good things. And that's a part, kind of a PR tip that every station has that, even up to the national level, where you can say, heartwarming story.
Right.
And, they're always looking for who's doing good in the community, and they want to feature that stuff. So it's just a matter of having enough, I guess, boots on the ground in the newsroom. They don't have enough people these days to go and constantly find all these great things that are happening. And social media helps because they can screen Facebook and find these stories a lot easier now.
I mean, and I don't want to get too off topic here, but it's just, we've talked a lot on the different shows about, being business owners and entrepreneurs and surrounding our own worlds with positivity and watching and being very careful of the energy that we allow in us. How can we as business owners and entrepreneurs lead our companies or our people around us if we're overwhelmed with negativity? I mean, we have to be positive. And it is tough. It's not been, none of us have really ever had just an easy path, and that's not what business ownership is about. So it's difficult, and in order for us to stay happy, you have to really be careful with what news and what outlets you're letting in. So not that you want to stay necessarily with blinders on all the time, but a lot of, I kind of pick that little outlet that I'll stay caught up with things, and then I turn that off. And I would recommend with everybody kind of do that at some point and try to limit what we're
and just
which is what I hope we do here.
Keep apps on your phone and when have a small amount of time that you go to just make sure you are staying up with what's happening in the world.
Right. That's what I say. I don't want to take
fill
us
the rest of your space with positivity.
Yeah, but no, it's interesting. So wow, and there is just so much negativity too with it all that anyway. Well, and I want to take a quick break, but just quickly, what is PR?
So, the difference in PR and like we said in the beginning, in marketing and advertising is going to be more so the organic strategies and messaging that you put out, whether it's through the form of media coverage to get your story, your messaging, your product, your service out to your audience through channels of television, radio, magazine, podcast, anything that would fall under the media umbrella. The other side of that is you think of good PR, good public relations, internally in a company and externally doing good charitable things.
Right.
And then you could take that, obviously, that goes and gets pushed out to a media source as well. But.
No, that's great. Well, we're going to talk all about PR and Carolyn's 7 simple steps. So don't go far. We'll be back more with Carolynn Smith-Jones.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome back to Getting the Edge. I'm your host, Kelly Wilson. Thank you so much for being with us today. Learning all about public relations and with Carolynn Smith-Jones. Thank you so much for being here and enlightening us. I think we could talk like forever, just about everything. So I'll try to stay more on focus for this next segment. Let's talk about the 7 simple steps that you have for us to follow, and let's kind of go over those. And I guess the biggest number one being research. Let's talk a little bit. I'll just let you take over.
Yeah. So I do this. I've come up with these 7 simple steps to, I say, PR, marketing, magic, and getting media exposure for your brand or company. And these 7 steps are, I usually educate viewers and the audience on, this is for someone that does not have a budget to work with a PR firm, that may be just getting started, or a mid-sized business that really wants to try to gain media coverage and good PR on their own without a budget to working with a firm. And then hopefully implementing these steps to grow your company and have the ability to work with a publicist or a PR firm. So the first thing is the power of doing your research. So if you have your company or you're a talent base, say I'm in financial services, I'm a doctor, I'm a nutritionist, I'm a health coach, I'm a life coach, and I keep seeing these specialists and these experts on the morning news. How do you get there? So first thing is, every major market such as Tampa has a ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox affiliate. So first thing you need to do is you need to start watching those shows that you want to be on, right? So I advise, usually you can't sit around and watch the morning news all morning. So you want to say, for homework, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to DVR a couple ABC, NBC. So you need to go through each station, start watching if it's later at night when you get home from work or whenever you have time. Start watching the morning news and see what they're covering and who they're covering. So do they bring on, for instance, ABC in Tampa? They have a morning show called The Morning Blend. They bring on all types of specialists and experts in their field. You want to watch and see the kind of things that they're covering. Same thing with Fox News. It's going to be a lot more competitive. Fox typically does not bring on as many experts in the morning as an ABC or CBS Channel 10. I think it's Great Day Tampa Bay. So you'll find with those shows, ABC and CBS, they bring on chefs, they bring on local restaurants, they bring on local business owners. Then you have someone like Charlie Belcher with Fox, who does. If I have a small business, I am 100% contacting the producer of Fox. And so you really need to study the media market that you're in to see who they're covering. So now that you understand that, and I'm a chef or I'm opening a new restaurant or salon, I'm going to probably focus on ABC and CBS, because those morning shows typically feature my type of company, right? So the second thing is in media. Television, and as you know, in your world with magazines, we want to cover what's timely and trending, right? So unfortunately, we keep talking about negativity. What just happened this week in the news? What's all over the news right now? The killings that just happened, right? Unfortunately. So on the negative side, I'm a psychologist, or I'm a mental health professional. I work with companies to help them with self-defense, with what do you do if an active shooter comes in the building. I represent a big box store. This is perfect timing for me to contact the local news desk and say, who do I speak with? I'm a mental health, I'm a psychologist. I'd like to come on and talk about tips on what people can do if they lose someone. If they, so even though it may not be a shooting in Tampa, thank God, it's timely in the news to where they can say, this is going on around the nation. We have Kelly with us today, who's a psychologist, a mental health professional. These are top 3 tips that you need to look for when something tragic happens in your life. If you lose someone, if there's a death, right? So what's timely? On a positive side, what else is coming up around the corner? Football season, right?
Right.
So now if I have any type of business, if I have a restaurant, if I am a chef, I am going to pitch what's related to football. Hey, I've got tasty tailgate recipes that I can bring on and talk to you about. Here's some healthy buffalo cauliflower that's not as bad as chicken wings. So You think about what is timely and trending and how does it relate to your company. I have people with nonprofits that may help breast cancer survivors. October is your month. The media will watch you on in October because you have something to do with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Alzheimer's Month. So study the holiday calendars. So what does your business, going back to like someone with mental health, Christmas time, high suicide rates. Okay, so you want to go on and help people. How can you educate and entertain an audience, the viewers, and what's timely and trending? So those are key things to look for when you're trying to get into the media. Same thing, if I want to be in your magazine and I know that you publish, say, a month out, hey, I've got some great tips for busy working moms when it's time for going back to school. So for in your August issue, I could have presented, here's 5 great tips, and maybe I'm a mom blogger and I want more awareness, or I have a company that could, generate sales during the month of August for back to school. So think about what's timely and trending, whether they're working with magazines, radio, television. So going on to the third tip, how do you find these contacts, right? So now you've got your station, you know who you can probably target, you have something that's timely or trending or educational and entertaining year-round. Now you're going to go to the ABC's website, go to Fox's website, and you will find contact about us, about our staff. They have all the different listing of, what the different types of reporters cover. You can also call directly to the news desk and say, hey, I need to get in touch with the producer of ABC's Morning Blend. I need to get in touch with the producer of the morning show Great Day Tampa Bay. Make sure you know the name of the show, at least do your research that much. Don't say that show that comes on at 9 o'clock. So once you do that, get the email, then it's kind of we call a media pitch, to where you're going to open up a good subject line. So, hi, producer's name, great timely story for football season, trending story, educational story, entertaining story. So start out with something that's relating to what you want to pitch them.
And you're saying the producer's name is available too on the website?
You can call usually and get it from the news desk.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the producers typically are not, but you can also pitch to a reporter.
Right.
Pitch to, sometimes, everybody knows if you watch Fox, Jen Epstein, she loves dogs. If you have a story and you're someone with a nonprofit that does a dog rescue, pitch to Jen Epstein. She'll probably pass along to her producer because she loves the idea.
Right.
So the actual news host and anchor is, they typically don't like to be pitched as much, but you can, and it may get passed along. Or again, the news desk, usually you can call, as long as you sound like you know what you're talking about, and get a contact.
And if you have a good product or some good advice, and there's no reason not to utilize that. We're taught in Sales 101, when you walk into an office, look to see what you can connect with people in regards to. So if you do have something connection-wise, and it is relative.
Yeah.
You
always have to, it's kind of hard in the PR world. I feel bad because, we will get calls and clients that come to us and say, I have this story and, I went through so much and, this is my story and I need it to get out there. And the reality is this really going to educate or entertain the viewers on the other side of the screen? Because if it's not, it's, you have to have a little bit, maybe you have a powerful story and something, you have a great business and a great product. So if you have a great business and a great product, what's something a little bit more engaging, or what are tips or education or entertainment from your company or product that's going to help the viewers? Because that's what they care about. Everybody has a story for the most part.
And just from experience, it's difficult. We often, multiple times throughout the week, almost daily, there's somebody reaching out.
Pitching a story.
And or they've just got this business idea and they just launched this, and I wish we had space to talk about everybody, but you have to
And the advice to them, so I think of, because I'm a mom, right? I have a 16-month-old. I have all these different things that are marketed to me on Facebook and Instagram, these different car seat clips, and okay, great, but let's take it a step further. So say I just came out with a baby product. Or a product for teenagers. And I'm pitching that to you. Like you said, you get pitched, right? I just came out with this great product. This is, here's all the information on it. one step further. Give me top 3 or top 5 tips on how this can help somebody. I mean, that's usually why we start a business, right? Because we need to fill a need and a demand. So you should know that. And that's a whole nother ball game, right?
That's actually
then you're like,
good
you know
response.
what? Yeah. So
well, and I feel bad a lot of times.
So say, can you send me your top 3 or 5 things that how this can help my readers? We have success in getting stories in Entrepreneur and Huffington Post and Forbes magazine. You think I get those stories in these big publications because I just told the company's story?
Right.
No, we found get into the story or into the tips, because really everybody has a story, everybody has a business, everybody's trying to sell something. What separates you and how can you help people? Because that's what the media cares about. That's what you care about at Ed Magazine. You say it all the time. You want to help. So you're not going to just feature everybody with businesses. How are they helping people? How can I as a PR firm owner give tips to business owners? So it's all about, you got to say, what value am I bringing? And you have to get that across.
For sure. And it's difficult too, even having guests on the show. We have people that ask about coming on the show all the time. I need to know that I can sit down and have a conversation with you and that you're going to talk to me.
Right.
And that we're going to have this great conversation.
Yeah.
And not everyone can do that. And there are a lot of lights in here and there's cameras and a lot of times not everybody can do that.
Right.
And so
that's why it's great. And that's when you say what is PR, we also really help people tell their story. If you're a painting company.
Or prepare them too, maybe to be able to sit down
so that's why
and have cameras.
When I told you, I said, hey, this is great, the conversation, but if I'm here, I want to bring value to the viewers and to the listeners. And in that case, I know I need to prepare top 5 tips. Everybody can do it. And if you can't, then you really better figure out and sit down with the marketing or PR branding consultant on why you're doing what you're doing and how you're bringing value.
We still need to get through the rest of them, I think, right? So we're going to take a quick break. Don't go far. We'll be back more with Carolyn Smith-Jones when we come back.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome back to Getting the Edge. I'm your host, Kelly Wilson. Thanks again for being with us today. Hopefully during the show, through the commercials, you've had time to stop by edgebusinessmagazine.com. Please definitely subscribe to our newsletter so that you can stay up to date with all the happenings that's going on and exciting up-to-dates with the new issue that's coming out soon with Edge Business Magazine. So again, more details coming on that soon. Wow, lots of information. We're going through our 7 simple steps with Carolyn Smith-Jones. So let's go through and great information.
Yeah, thank you. So I've got 2 more. I'll skip to how to use a publicity calendar so you don't miss opportunities to get into the news. And again, going back to if you want to try to get booked on TV, on radio, on a podcast, in a print magazine. So one thing I advise is kind of work on a quarterly schedule. So we are moving into September, right? We're in August. Oh my gosh. So we're moving into September. Look at the rest of this quarter. So say September, October, let's say we're starting with August. August, September, October. What is going on? What's timely? What's trending? What national holidays or local holidays are going on in your community if you're looking for local coverage? And then come up with ideas, just like you would for if you're running your social media. Okay. If I'm a restaurant, it's National Margarita Day.
Right, there's a national day for everything anymore, right?
So you literally Google National Social Media Calendar Days, National Holidays, National Nonprofit Awareness Days. Maybe your company or your CEO, maybe I lost my mother to breast cancer, or I lost someone to Alzheimer's. And that's, something I'm passionate about as a business owner CEO. Well, I'm going to incorporate some type of charity drive, some type of effort where we incorporate that into my company and something that I do for the community. Well, you can put that together and send that to some of the local media. Hey, here's what our, local financial services company is doing. Yeah. And, maybe you don't land coverage on morning news. Well, then start using that and push it out on your social media channels. There's so many national days, like you said, National Donut Day. So,
I was just thinking that, right?
These days, there's no excuse for a company to not spend a little bit of time on your marketing, whether it's doing fun photo shoot with your team because of something that relates to your company. I think it was National Financial Awareness Month the other month, so right. There is a national month that relates to your industry or your product, and you have to really, as we say, ride the wave. So maybe right. That's your big month to really get some coverage and maximize it. So go through, print out a calendar of events, and kind of work off a quarterly. What can we do? And right. Maybe you're a one-man show, and it's you coming up with some of these ideas and pitching them to some of the local media. Again, call the news desk and just find out who you need to talk to or email. Right. So last tip would be, how do you develop these relationships with the media? 2 big ways, LinkedIn and Facebook. So these days, all news reporters, morning news hosts, anchors, a big part of their job is to get followers and interaction on their social media pages. Mm-hmm. So they are very happy when they get new fans that are interacting, commenting, sharing their stuff. You will get on their radar. So think about if you sent them a pitch, Kelly, and you had never followed them, you weren't interacting with them, right. And you're just fresh in their mailbox, never heard of you. Now backtrack, and you've been following them on Facebook, you've been following them on LinkedIn, you're commenting. Going back to Jen Epstein, she pops in mind because she's a dog lover. Oh my gosh, Jen, your dog's adorable. I mean, obviously be genuine, and if you don't really care about somebody's purpose, and maybe follow another news personality, but follow these people that you're trying to interact with and your goal that you would want to do business with. If I want to do business with you, Kelly, and I want to get a feature in your magazine, well, I'm going to at least start supporting you. I'm going to start following you, and I'm going to interact, and I'm going to share some of your stuff. So, right. It's, and same thing with radio, with podcasts. So just like everyone that's trying to sell or market their company, their talent, their personal brand, you have to do the same and actually support the other people that you're trying to gain coverage from.
Well, and it goes back to nurturing a relationship
exactly.
versus just wanting something from someone.
Yep, because they know, just like we know when someone comes to us and
Right.
wants to use us for free, let me
Right.
pick your brain at coffee,
Right.
you know, so gotta love that one. That's
Right.
called consulting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, and I'm sure we'd all love to do that all the time.
Exactly.
But
well,
it
that's
does,
why I know I do, and I encourage another good PR is get out there and speak. I give these 7 simple steps, and I do a 2-hour speaking engagement.
Oh, I bet.
I go out and speak all the time, and I'm not going to I don't charge people. You know, yes, I have other workshops where I'm going to really get into meat and potatoes, and you're going to walk away with, steps that are going to make you money. There's fees for that. But as far as getting out and speaking and just giving people education, I know you've done that.
It's part of that branding piece too.
Exactly,
That's so important.
and that's PR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. It's important for us to get out there and you just utilize all the components, too. I go back and forth because I want to be able to provide these platforms, but sometimes I don't always want to toot my own horn, so to speak.
Yeah.
And there's a fine line with that with me, and I almost feel like that holds me back some.
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong person because in PR we fully believe in telling your story and being proud of your accomplishments. I say all the time when I'm in an event, I'm an NCAA Women's Hall of Famer. I work with the Women's Final Four. People like to hear about that. It's exciting. And there's a way, and people know my intentions and that I am a genuine person and I help a lot of people. And it's the same. It's the way that you communicate it, but you have to. We're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, we work hard, and you have to be proud of your accomplishments. You have to share it on social media, and it's what's going to help you get more business and relationships.
No, and it's another avenue of promotion, and it is just a big world. I don't know, when you're used to kind of having, which I am not in the career and in the world to be private, really, because I'm in the media.
Right.
But it's anyway. So there's always been that fine line kind of pulling me.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah. So, I want to just kind of pick your brain a little bit on, again, 7 years now in your own business. You've had such great success and so many things that you've touched throughout your life. And you do a lot in the community. I know you give back a lot and do a lot. And, I don't know that one of the questions I ask is, what might people be surprised to know about you? And not everybody maybe knows all the different. I remember one year, I don't know if it was back to school or what you did, but
probably I do back to school Christmas events.
One
of them went viral, which I
over the
didn't
top.
want to happen.
Yeah, and because there weren't other people doing it, so you just decided to do something all on your own.
Yeah, and I still, this is going to be my 4th year doing it, so I have a huge heart for inner city kids. And the Boys and Girls Club, I'm now on their board, but what I personally have always done over the years is I found there's a club called Wilbert Davis Boys and Girls Club, kind of right out in the outskirts of Ybor City. And so I've always done mentorship, just kind of personal ministry stuff. And I went to the club director. We were approaching Christmas, and I'm pregnant and running a business. And I said, because they always had some type of Christmas party in the past. And I said, so what are you guys doing for Christmas? Is there a party? Because I was thinking of maybe trying to get some sponsors to bring jump houses and things in. And she said, no, we don't have anyone sponsoring this year. And I was like, wow, all the companies in this city, in Tampa Bay, this is the biggest club, Boys and Girls Club in the town, over 150 kids that majority of them will not even get maybe 1 gift, 2 gifts. They're lucky if they have a mom or dad at home.
Right. Wow.
And they had 150 kids. And at that point, I said, I want to adopt the club. And I said, I'll adopt all the kids. And I want them to write down their Christmas wish list. And I want to do a party. And it was about 2.5 weeks out. And so we called a lot of corporate partnerships of mine, and we got all the kids their wish list gift and jump houses and
you orchestrated all of that. It was amazing.
Yeah,
thank you.
I've done that for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you could go back 20, 30 years and give your 21-year-old Carolyn advice, what advice would that be?
I've always been raised with the heart of giving. And I don't care if it's personal ministry, if it's someone, you don't know what people are going through.
Right.
And if it's just truly being engaged and caring, if you're meeting with a friend, with a colleague in business, with a potential client, really have the heart of, whether it's giving back in the community or giving good advice, just find a way to give back in your daily routine.
Right.
I do it in social media a lot. A lot of people say, I love people that I don't see for years, and say, I love following you on social media because you're such an inspiration and motivational, and I love watching you and your kids. And, that's what it's about. I don't care how busy you are in business. There's
Right.
always a way, whether it's an inspirational message. You just never know what people are going through, and so many people out there need. And it's, I always say, you can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
Right.
And so whether it's one person's life that you touch, but always just, have a heart of giving.
Yeah. What is your definition of success today?
Definition of success, number one is definitely my family and my kids. So I want them to always see Mom. I want us to have a very peaceful and happy life. And whether that means that my business grows and we have the financial resources to travel a lot more than I want,
Right.
or, just making sure, I just always believe that I work hard, my success in business will always be there,
Right.
but it's more so being the success, being the great mom and great role model, so that my two boys will grow up and be hard workers and give back like I've always been raised in what I do now.
Well, and just from the being friends for a while and following you a little bit, you do have a great your big family, and I've loved seeing those pictures too, as we all do.
Thanks.
So, wow, I know you and I could kind of sit and talk forever, and I know we're running out of time to be able to do that. But thank you so much for coming today and sharing your story with us and sharing your 7 simple tips. So, and I know we've had the information out for people to contact you. So, I highly recommend. Reaching out to Carolyn with any additional questions with her marketing, PR, and social media. And there's so much to know. So, and that's great advice, really, on from the media and television standpoint. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything that you're doing, Kelly.
I appreciate that.
It's really a lot of help, and there's not a lot of people like you in our community doing what you do. So
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. In the meantime, check out edgebusinessmagazine.com again. Please subscribe. You can subscribe to the magazine. Never miss a copy. We'll see you next week. And until then, never stop dreaming. Thank you.